Hey there, Alan here, RVAcrossAmerica.net, and this video was shot on October 22nd. As you can see, I am departing Rigby. I am en route from Vernal, Utah, up to Montana, and Rigby was a way station for me this time. I had spent part of the summer, most of the summer in Rigby, and I returned to the Yellowstone Lakeside RV Park, which, by the way, is neither anywhere near Yellowstone or Lakeside, but it's reasonably priced, and I knew the area, and I wanted to get to the Idaho Falls Farmers Market while I was here. So I spent 4 days at the Rigby RV Park, Yellowstone Lakeside, and you see me pulling out here on the morning of October 22nd. It's a Sunday morning. This post, by the way, is going to be at rvacrossAmerica.net/salmon, SALMON. And that's where I'm headed to. I'm headed to Salmon, Idaho. Salmon, Idaho is 160 miles from where you see me right now. At the moment, I'm only about a mile out of the RV park, if that. And I want you to take note of how quickly it becomes very rural. This might be called, quote-unquote, North Rigby. And we're now on actually 500 North Street, headed westbound. And you're pretty much out of the quote-unquote metro area, if Rigby could be called metro at all. It's a town of about 5,000 people, so it's suburban to Idaho Falls. This is quintessential autumn here in southeastern Idaho. And again, the route is going to take me almost due north. I head west initially to get to Idaho 28, and then it takes you due north for about 125 miles. And there's nothing along Idaho 28. There's Lead Ore, which has 2 gas stations and 1 or 2 restaurants. So for an RV, 125 miles when I'm pulling the trailer means something over 2 hours. And about half of that stretch is with no cell service at all. So it's a neat drive. It's going through a canyon or a valley that has a couple of mountain ranges along the left-hand side particularly. And now we're turning onto Idaho 28. I've skipped ahead a little bit to get us there. Don't want to put you through watching every minute of this entire drive. I've basically condensed the 3-hour drive, again pulling the fifth wheel, so I'm not moving at regular highway speeds if I was just driving a vehicle. And we're on 28, and you can see that there's nothing along 28. I do want to point out that there are some pull-offs along the left-hand side. You'll see a couple as you go along here that allow campers to pull off and go towards the mountains on the left-hand side and dry camp along the way. And again, you're in an area which I believe has no cell service. It's about half the drive along 28 where there's no cell service at all. Pay attention to the captions I put on here because I fill in some details that I've either forgotten to mention verbally or can't catch or can't recall. Well, it's the same thing as forgetting. Anyway, so again, I'm Alan, and this is rvacrossAmerica.net/salmon, SALMON. You're going to find some really cool photos of that. And this, by the way, is one of 2 videos that's accessible from my post, again at rvacrossAmerica.net/salmon, SALMON. You'll find the other one is going to show you around the area a little bit. I take you to a couple of the places that I visited while I was in Salmon. I ended up spending 5 days, I believe, in Salmon, maybe 6 days. I got stuck there for an extra day. Not that I objected to being in Salmon for an extra day, but you'll learn a little bit in the post about why I stayed an extra day. And you'll see some video in my next post, future and upcoming, and not even made yet. As I record this, I'm making the recording on October 31, even though the video was made on October 22. So it takes me a little time to kind of get these videos together, do the editing, and now do the voiceover. So we're headed up Gilmore Summit. We're at about right here, 7,000 feet. And from here on, it's a gradual decline. It's about 60 miles thereabouts that you're declining from 7,000 feet to where Salmon is at 4,000 feet. We're now in Leadore, which is a very small town. You can see population 105. Got a couple of fueling stations, so if you didn't fill up down in Idaho Falls area, Rigby area, Rexburg area, those are the three towns in eastern Idaho that most people would be staying in if you're north of Pocatello and that area, Pocatello, Blackfoot. It basically goes Pocatello, Blackfoot, and then you've got Idaho Falls, Rigby, and Rexburg, and then you head north and east up into Yellowstone if you're going up US 20. We're headed up Idaho 28. Doesn't even rate a US highway signature. And we're leaving Leadore, and as you can see from the caption, back to wilderness. So we're going to be in wilderness for a moment. Now we're out of the wilderness, but we're also 45 miles up the road. So you magically were spared 45 miles of driving through nowhere with very similar landscape. It's just very similar all the way up from the moment you turn on to 28 all the way until you get to Salmon here. On the left-hand side, we may have passed it already. There's a small RV park. It's consisting of mostly permanent RVers, so I wouldn't suggest it as a visitor park. There is a visitor park we're going to go right past called Andreas on the River. There are two other RV parks in town. You'll have to check on Campground Reviews for the latest reviews. I can tell you that Andreas on the River is, or Andreas on the River is new ownership. And I stopped in, met with the guy, with the owner, nice guy, very easygoing. I think his rate right now is $46 a night. I don't know what he is in season. And again, remember, this is October 22nd, so we're out of season. But because I'm an Elks member, I stayed at the Elks RV Park, and that's just a mile away from Andreas. But I want to give him a shout out, Andreas on the River, because he literally is on the river. He's got two sites that have private decks that look over the river, and that was kind of really interestingly done. And again, campgroundreviews.com will have some of the things that RV park visitors have to say. You can simply search Salmon and you'll find the RV parks. We're in the suburban part of South Salmon. Salmon is a town of about 3,300 people. Its nearest communities are Idaho Falls to the south, which is about 175 miles, or Missoula to the north, which is about 140 miles, making it one of the most remote communities in the country. It does have all of the amenities you would expect. I guess they have a hospital. I didn't look into it. But they got a couple of coffee shops. They have a health food store. That's on the left as we're coming up. Here's one of the traffic lights in town. I think there are two. There's a fresh market on the left. There's a Safeway in town. I was warned about Safeway, so be careful about it. Possible rodent issue. Make sure you find out from the locals whether that's still an issue. I did go into Safeway. It looked okay to me, but what do I know? So as you go through town here, and we're doing it quickly, you're going to see an historic downtown area. I think it's very picturesque. Fuel prices are relatively high. I paid $4.83, as you can see here, for diesel, and I wasn't happy with that, but what are you going to do? You're in the middle of nowhere. The nearest town is Chalice, and that's a town of less than 1,000 people, and that's 60 miles away. We just passed the coffee shop. We've got Wally's coming up on the left. I did go to Wally's. There's a Heinziger beer or something which has good salads, so I did go there. And we're coming up on the health food store and the markets, the fresh market on the left in this older building. And we're about to hit a bridge which has a couple of parks. Veterans Park right in the middle of town. The River of No Return runs right through it. And there's also Island Park, which is right next to Veterans Park. Veterans Park is on your left as we're approaching it right now. And forgive me for clearing my throat from time to time. Hey, at least I'm not coughing. And again, this is rvacrossamerica.net/salmon, SALMON. So right on the bridge is Island Park. They're both great to wander around. I walked through Island Park on a frosty morning. The entrance is to your left, just about where we're turning to the right here. And this is now virtually turning out of town. We're past the downtown. So the downtown is all of about 3 or 4 blocks. Andrea's on the river is going to be on your right-hand side, if you can catch it. And we're going to be making a left in a moment, which is going to take us up a hill and to the Elks Lodge and the Elks RV Park. And I'm going to stay with you through getting there. Again, a very picturesque town. People pass through here, and if you stay straight on this, and you'll see that in the next videos coming up, that's going to take us to North Fork, which is a little town of nothing, and then up to Lost Trail Pass, which is also home right at the top of the pass to Lost Trail Ski Area, which I visited today, again, October 31, as I'm recording the audio for this. So you see another one of the gas stations. They all have the same fuel prices. They fixed the fuel prices here. They all seem to be working together to keep the prices as high as they can make them. And again, this might be Andrea's. Andrea's on the right. I can't tell from the little video that I'm actually watching as I'm doing the audio narrative. And you can see vehicles passing by me on a double yellow because I was taking my sweet time trying to find a turnoff to the Elks Lodge. It is well marked for those of you who are Elks members and are going to stay here. It's only $30 a night, and Elks, just like any other lodge, does some family style meals. I had a couple of meals there while I was there. Now we're turning off to the left. There is quite a little bit of a climb here. It's not a real big deal, but my truck did take some notice of it going up the turn, which is just as we make the next curve. It does get a little bit steeper. The camera is not showing the real steepness of it. But nevertheless, not a big deal. I mean, I'm pulling with an F-350, but I am pulling 15,000 pounds. And this takes you up the hill. You're going to make a left-hand turn. And it's all well marked by Google Maps. Google Maps is a true godsend for a traveler. I really appreciate using it as I travel through. We're turning left here, and the Elks Lodge will be on the left-hand side. It's full hookups for $30 a night, and that's the full price. There's no sales tax added to it. And it's spacious. It was easy to get in and out of, and there was just me and one other fella for most of the time that I was there. There was actually 2 other fellas that were staying there. One was a hunter. The other one, I don't know what he was doing. And when I pulled in, there was another outdoors RV that snuck in there just ahead of me, but they were only there to do a dump. For members of the Elks Lodge, I think you can do a dump for $5 or something, dump the RV. I pulled over here to stop in and go inside and meet with Vince. He's the fellow that is the treasurer that I paid. It doesn't look like I stayed very long through the magic of editing. These vehicles are here for the lodge itself. Do please find my part 2 video at rvacrossamerica.net/salmon, where I'm going to introduce you to Williams Lake and to the drive over to Sharkey Hot Springs. And those are the 2 things that will be in that video. Again, stopped here briefly to kind of size it up, but you see me moving continuously to pull in. I took the site right next to the outdoors RV. I didn't know that he was just staying for 10 minutes to dump his tanks, but we did strike up a conversation. He had an outdoors RV trail, which are great machines. I'm in an outdoors RV Glacier Peak, another great machine. 6 years now. It's actually 6 years almost to the day that I picked it up. I think I picked it up on the 3rd week of October in 2017. So I'm here, and I'm running a little bit overtime. Alan here, rvacrossamerica.net/salmon. You have a great day, morning, evening, whenever it is you see this, and please do go over to the post and check it out. Thank you.